YouTube land. How's everybody been? Hopefully, everything's okay with everybody and you've been having a wonderful week thus far and enjoyed a wonderful weekend. I haven't been on here since my last video because I've been really busy the past week because my oldest son recently turned 21 years old. Yes, the big 2-1. So, Sunday, we had a nice celebration for him for his 21st birthday. So, I was really busy last week preparing treats and reserving the hall and looking for DJs and cooking and all that kind of stuff so that we could celebrate his 21st birthday. But I'm back and still new to this YouTube world. Still new to going live, so bear with me. um, let's get this camera right. Okay, first of all. All right. Still having issues with going live on my computer and my okay, this is not going. This is not trying to cooperate with us. But still trying to go live on my computer or my iPad. So I'm using my cell phone, or trying to accomplish using my cell phone. But we're going to get through tonight. And I'll try to figure out what's going on. I think I need to download something on my other devices to go live. Um, I tried to go live on my iPad and the whole screen was just black. So, anyway, what I'm going to do a review on tonight. Hopefully, you guys had a chance to watch or you're up to date on Housewives of Atlanta. Um, the other day, I watched the Housewives of Atlanta, and it was for the reunion part 3. And they discussed a lot of things on the reunion, and at the end of the show, I was kind of perplexed about Kim's behavior. Uh, Kim, from what I've seen on the show, has been really distanced by the rest of the rest of the housewives except for Sheree. Sheree and her are like best friends this season. So, but at the beginning of the show, when it first started off, um, I guess they brought Kim in kind of a little late during the reunions. They left her for last. I don't know if that was a Bravo setup or whatnot, but Kim had issues, or the other ladies had issues with Kim. One of the biggest issues um, was when Kim's daughter had recorded in, I know you guys remember that when she was in Nene's basement. I guess it was her basement restroom, and she was recording. Now, when I first saw the episode and saw it online, and some people have posted videos online, I thought that her daughter had purposely recorded the roaches that, well, and they weren't roaches. Um, they said they were roaches, but they look like water bugs. And I don't know if anybody's ever had a basement before, but I done lived in many houses throughout my life with basements, and sometimes you might find a water bug in your basement. I mean, it's not necessarily saying you're a nasty person or anything. Water bugs get in people's houses. I mean, it's just, they just do. But for her to, it seemed to me like at first she had made a recording of the cop. I keep wanting to say roaches because that's what they kept bringing up all season. But of the water bugs, and it seemed like she had purposely did it. But then, on the reunion part three, Kim has stated that her daughter had uploaded a video, and then one of her daughter's friends or followers or whatnot had hit her daughter up and said, "Tell me you didn't see those roaches." And so Kim said that, her daughter didn't purposely um, take a video to show off roaches, that she didn't even notice them. And I'm like, okay, from the video, everybody saw these, what looks like water bugs. So I don't know what was up with that. I think Kim is just trying to skate around, you know, that because the other housewives feel, and so do I, and a lot of social media land feel like, okay, this is your daughter. She is grown, but you as a mother, wouldn't you say something to your daughter like, okay, um, you're grown, but you haven't been grown that long, and you're up here throwing shade to some grown women, much older than you. And for me, it's all about staying in your lane. I don't care if you're 19, 20, 21. You're not. You just basically got grown. So you still, as far as adults per se, you still should show a certain amount of respect for those much older than you, and that's what I teach my sons. And then there's been times when I done seen stuff on their social media, and I'm like, should you have said that? Should you have posted that? I think you need to check what you're saying. And there's been times where they're like, okay, yeah, mom, you're right. Let me delete that or let me edit that. And it's all about just being a parent. It's not about they're grown, they can do what they want to do. You still a parent, and until the day you pass or the day your child pass, you still parent them regardless of how old they are. They could be 21, 31, 41. If you're still around, you still parent them. Of course, they're grown, and some things they're going to still be like, Mom, okay, I'm grown, I got this. But in that situation, I think Kim should have done more, as far as her daughter. But because of the beef that her and Kim, Nene and Kim, has been having, from this season to the past seasons. I'm sure she was like, oh, ha, 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 ha. Yeah, Ariel, she posted it on there, and she basically didn't care. And it's basically proven that she felt like, oh, well, she's grown. She can do what she want to do. So that's why it baffles me at the uh, end of last episode of the Housewives reunion part three, how Kim was all torn up and crying, and they're picking on me and they're jumping on me, and how could you let this happen to me? And but she's been doing a lot of stuff that the Housewives has had issues with. That's just one incident with the roaches, aka water bugs. But another issue was with Candy. Kim has stated when she was talking to Sheree over, I think it was lunch or dinner, whatever, they were at a restaurant. And she said something about Candy wanted to, quote, quote, go down there on her. And, in her box. So, you know what she means. So, now, if you are a fan of the TV show, a fan of Candy, I'm sure you can't imagine Candy saying something like that. I can't either. So that was another one of the incidences that kind of been keeping them distance from Kim as well. And of course, Candy had an issue with it, just like she had an issue when Portia now, last season had made the acclamation that Candy, and Todd tried to drug her. and take advantage of her. So, but I guess it wasn't as big of an issue as that, but still, um, you lying, I mean, that's kind of like high school stuff. You saying that somebody wants to get with you, or that you slept with somebody, or that, that's like high school stuff. You don't do that stuff. You shouldn't do it then, and you shouldn't do it now as a grown woman. But and then Sheree, uh, I I'm still trying to understand her and Kim's relationship closeness. Cause Sheree, yeah, we all know she's the bone carrier, and normally Sheree tells everything that's done, everything that's said, everything that's should be private. Sheree is the bone collector, and she carries the bones. But for some reason, this season with Kim, all this stuff Kim has been saying about the other housewives of Atlanta and about the video that Sheree knew about of the roaches, aka cockroaches. I mean, cockroaches, aka water bugs, um, that Kim's daughter had videotaped. Sheree, she didn't give out any of that information, even denied that she knew anything about the video, you know, after she saw the video. So I really don't understand their relationship right now. Um, not too many people is feeling Sheree right now either, as far as the cast. So, on this show, there was a lot of going back and forth on this last episode with Nene and Kim, mainly because of that situation. Because she feels that her daughter was wrong, and Kim was wrong for not checking her daughter, and so there was a lot of arguing and going back and forth and throwing daggers at each other. And I guess Kim kind of, ooh, sorry. Kim kind of felt like she was being, defeated or, attacked, losing the battle or whatever you want to call it on the show. So she comes out with, let me backtrack. Sheree, they had got on the subject of Sheree and her guy friend, the one that's in prison for wire fraud, the one that they couldn't speak too much, and that's why Sheree's kind of storyline. Um, I'm thinking Sheree might not appear too much on the next season because she really doesn't have a storyline. That guy that she's dating was her storyline. His name is Tyrone, and I guess they had met years and years and years ago, and then I don't know if they lost contact or just went their separate ways, but he's in prison for wire fraud, and Sheree, I guess she wanted to throw up the fact that people were talking about Tyrone and how why would she date somebody who's in prison, and when she could be, Sheree's pretty, she's attractive, she's in good shape, she seems like she's pretty smart, I guess. And they were like, well, why you want to date a guy in prison who's in prison for wire fraud, And she was like, well, at least that's not as bad as dating a married man. Um, to me, let's see, wire fraud, prison, dating a married man. Weigh, weigh the scale. Weigh the scale. What do you think is worse? Let me know what you think because okay, dating a married man, yeah, that means your morals aren't, too high. Either you don't care or, you know, I don't know if the guy is separated from his wife, if it makes a big difference. To some people, it doesn't make a big difference. If you're separated from your wife, or if you're still with your wife, if you're, you know, if he's stepping out. So some people don't, but prison wire fraud. I'm going to have to say wire fraud to me. To me, that's just my opinion. You know, everybody has their own opinion. Um, I think that would be worse. You did something illegal, and even though a lot of states, if you sleep with a married person, charges could be brought upon you. So in some states, you know, old laws, um, and you can sue somebody, for damages, for your having issues with your relationship. But I can't. I really wouldn't have, if I was Sheree, I really wouldn't have tried to compare the two. That was not the right moment. But that gave Kim um the moment to jump in, because Nene, after Sheree had said that, she tried to use that against Nene, Kim, and was basically telling her, you know, well, at least I didn't. Uh, I guess what happened was Kim had told Nene, um, well, you were married to, your husband that you're married to right now, you had cheated with him when he was married. So she basically threw it out there that Nene and Greg had hooked up when Greg was married to his ex-wife. And Nene, said, that's not true. Greg was not married when we got together. But then she went on to say, but say it was true. Say me and Greg did hook up when he was still married. We're still together, after, 17, 20 years later. So we're still together. So, and then I couldn't believe Kim brought that up, because if y'all keep up with the seasons over the past year, you know that Kim used to mess with a couple of married men. One of them, Big Papa, who um we never really knew who Big Papa was, but he took pretty good care of Kim. Kept money in her pockets, home, cars, jewelry, some sugar daddy ish. So, and that wasn't the only person, it was others as well. That, this was at the very beginning of the show, seasons ago, when this was going on with Big Papa. So, I don't know, but it was crazy. It was a really crazy episode. It was just a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming. Um, and then Candy, she was, like I said, she was really, really upset about Kim, what she had said to her, and she had got upset with Sheree because Candy had hit up Kim, because they had an issue in the past with the Tardy for the Party song that Candy had wrote for Kim years ago. She never got paid for it. They had got into it, and they used to be real close. Kim and I'm sorry, yeah, Kim and Candy. They used to be really close till the Tardy for the Party issue. Kim wanted to sing, thought she could have a music career. Candy wrote the song for her. You know, produced it, everything, and she never got a dime from it. And that's where they fell out years ago. So they never really been cool like they used to be since then. So for Kim to now say publicly that Candy wanted to so called munch her box, or, go down on her box, um, Candy was really offended and hurt by that comment. And it's just funny how some of the housewives publicly say, Like um who was it before? Before Kim, it was lost. I just lost my thought. Lost my thought. Sorry, but I'll get back to that because I lost my thought. But I think it was, yeah, it was it last season? Yeah, that was last season when Portia and Phaedra. Portia claims Phaedra said it. Phaedra, I don't know. We won't even speak about Phaedra right now because she wasn't in this season. But Portia, she has said that also, that what I had said earlier about Todd and Candy supposedly wanted to drug her with a drink and take advantage of her. So Candy, she's just basically, her and Portia kind of like just really kind of squashed that. Kind of decided last episode they're not going to discuss that anymore. Portia apologized again and again and again and apologized again um last episode. So Candy, we're gonna squash this, but then for Kim to come up and say, what she said about Candy, wanting to do whatever to her, I'm just like, what is all these housewives up with accusing Candy of? I mean, I guess I don't know if it has to do with Candy admitting before that she had, had a woman before, been with a woman before. They feel like, Candy wants everybody now. I mean, Candy can have whoever she want. I'm sure that that is true. But for her to say that about Candy, I don't believe Candy said that, would ever say that about Kim. Nope. So, um, anyway, so this brings me to the end of the show. How Kim was so distraught and ran off the stage and ran into the bathroom, or I think that was a bathroom or dressing room, and was crying. And even Troy, he seemed upset, because his wife was upset. Um, Troy almost seemed more upset than Kim was. And basically, Andy is like, what's up? You know, and she's like, well, how could you let them attack me? And, all the good things about me and my family and my businesses. And wasn't one good thing or good question asked about me, or wasn't one good subject brought up about me and my life and my family and, our success. And Andy just basically told her, straight up, point blank, no chaser. All this season, you bump heads with people, you've had conflicts with people. There was really nothing good that happened involving you this season. So what did she want Andy to do? Um, I don't know. I mean, you got your daughter out here posting videos, you know, making it seem like Nene's house is full of roaches, and she's nasty, and you won't, take care of that or talk to your daughter about that. You saying Candy wants to munch your box per se, and just other things, throughout this season that weren't really, her storyline wasn't too good. And me personally, I'm surprised she was back this season, period, because of all the issues she had, before in the past on the Housewives show. So my thing is, with Kim, you know, hey, it is what it is. Like Andy said, it is what it is. The season for you might not have been that great, but he's not here to defend you. And then she tell Sheree, I thought, you're my friend. Why didn't you say anything? And if I remember right, Sheree, she was kind of um, nudging her when she was talking about her children, and she was trying to discreetly simmer down the attack on Kim, but it didn't help. It didn't help. So Kim, it, this just wasn't a good season for you. I don't think Kim will ever come back after this season. Take your tardy with the party, and you claim that your show is doing wonderful, even though I don't think I've ever, I don't think I've ever watched that show. Have you guys? Are you a fan of the show? Are you a fan of Kim? I don't think I've seen that show since I think probably when it first came out a few seasons back, when it was still around the time that that song "Tardy for the Party" had just came out, and she was still having those issues with Candy. That was a while ago, but so I suppose it's successful. The show still is on television. So, but as far as this last season, reunion, the last reunion that just happened, I just want to wish all the ladies success in all their areas. Kenya, she's pregnant by her husband. They're expecting a baby. And Candy, continue success on her business, all her businesses, especially her restaurant. I can't wait till I get a chance to go down to the A and dine at her restaurant because the food that they saw looks delicious. Um, Cynthia, uh, continue success with her modeling career and her modeling business. Nene, continue success. I wish that upon her as well. And also Portia, her continued success as well. And Sheree, one thing I've heard about Sheree over the last few weeks, I don't know if it's true, just, social media that I saw about how she is being sued or there's supposed to be liens against her home because none of the contractors who finished off her home, um, including some of the gardening, landscaping contractors, um, saying they weren't paid. I don't know if it's true. Just something I saw online. I hope that's not true because Chateau Charest, that place is absolutely gorgeous. And I know she, took her a long time to get that place together and get everything taken care of. And the basement, last season they were talking about our basement and how it looked like a dungeon. And it's beautiful now. So, best of luck with her and her guy friend who's in prison. Hopefully he'll be out soon. Maybe she'll have more of a storyline next season with him. But I am looking forward to the new season of Atlanta Housewives. So, um, so if you have any comments about that show, just type them in the inbox. Type not my inboxes. Just comment below. If you have any comments about any of the cast members or any of the storylines that went on this past season, or any questions or anything about the reunion or whatnot, just comment in the comment section. Um, Now another show. I don't know if everybody knows about this other show, but it's called Southern Charm New Orleans. And I'm still trying to figure out if this is going to be one of my faves or not. Um, the cast, it seems like it has a pretty good cast. Some of the cast members on here are married. and I think only one of them on here is single, and that would be John Moody. And if you don't know John Moody, please look him up. He is a athlete, and he's also an artist. He paints portraits, and I done seen some of his work, and I think his paintings start off. I think I've heard $100,000. So, but they're really nice. Look him up, check out his work, and he's kind of hot too. Add a little spice to the show. Other cast members is Jeff Charleston. He used to play football for the Saints. His wife Reagan Charleston. Then we also have Justin Reese and his wife Tammy. I'm sorry. Let me back up. Then we also have Barry, and we also have Justin Reese and Reagan Charleston and Tamika Lee. Now, Reagan Charleston and Jeff are married. Sorry, I thought I heard somebody knocking on my door. Um, Tamika Lee, she is on a news channel down there. Um, so if you stay down in New Orleans, I'm sure you know her by face from television. And then her husband is Barry. And basically, so far from what I'm getting of this cast, well, if you watched last episode, I'll just give you a little recap of the last episode. It's just recently started, so you're probably behind like 2 episodes. So if you want to get caught up, you can do that quickly, get caught up on those shows. But this last episode, John Moody, the single one, he he's the artist, and he wanted to throw like a guys party, a guys get together, and he told the guys, the other married men, Jeff, um, Justin, Barry, he told them all that they would be painting. It is like kind of like a beginning painters thing, where the guys thought that they were going to be painting things like like fruit, something small like that. Just because they don't paint, so they figured they would just do something small like that, and he would just show them like the basic, you know, concept of painting. But come to find out, John had actually, I don't know if he hired them or he just, knew them already or whatnot, but some beautiful, attractive women, two ladies. I believe one was Caucasian, the other one was black, and they basically posed nude, and the fellas were like completely shocked. They were thrown off. They were like, "Oh no, what's going on here? These women are naked. We are married." They looking around like, "Is this a setup?" Is we on hidden TV cameras or something? Um, but yeah, so um, the wives though, Tamika, she actually was on a had went to dinner with Reagan, and Reagan was concerned because they knew their husbands were supposed to be going out for a guys' evening get together, but I guess Reagan, she has a tracker on Jeff's phone that she claims Jeff didn't even know about. Jeff doesn't know about, so she can track him down and know his whereabouts. And for some reason, she couldn't track him down. So her and Tamika, they were getting kind of concerned, and then they saw on social media because after the ladies came to for them to paint, and I guess John invited like oh, seemed like every single woman in the city just started to come through the doors. Like seemed like 20, 30 women just lined up outside the house, just doorbell rang, and all these beautiful, lovely single ladies started walking in the house. So there was selfies taken, and it was posted on social media. The wives saw it. Basically, what happened was they crashed the party. Now, my question is to you viewers: how would you feel about if your husband, your significant other, boyfriend, fiance, whatnot, went to an event where okay, so let me backtrack. A lot of people, I haven't been to one yet, but I know friends, I know family members who have been to um, like painting parties where you get your girls or you get your, they done it for birthday parties, things like that, where you go and it's called like a sip and paint. Some of the companies have different names, but one that I'm familiar with is like a sip and paint, where you get together with your crew, your friends, your family, whatever, and you go and you sip wine or you sip drinks and you paint. And let me get a drink. Throat's dry. Sorry. And you sip. And you basically paint. You have fun. Um, you learn how to paint, and you basically, paint a picture. Everybody has to paint a specific photo. Everybody paints the same photo, and and that's how that goes. And it's a fun event. I want to do it myself. I just haven't, done it yet. But how would you feel if your spouse or mate went to an event like that and the painting that they're supposed to do is of somebody nude of the opposite sex? Would you feel a certain type of way, like we're married or we're engaged or this is my boyfriend, whatever, whichever scenario it is? Would you be upset? I mean, they are just painting, but the woman is naked, and you know, some men, some men in some relationships, I'm sure are very trustworthy. Then we have others who, any chance they get, they get out there, barking, acting like a dog. But in this situation right here, I really don't know how to feel about it. How the ladies kind of crashed the party, and they went up in there. And Tamika, she was like the one that was really aggressive, and she seemed like the most upset out of her and Reagan. Um, all in John's face, which is the host, the single guy, the painter, and all in his face, like she was about to go heads up with him, ready to fight and everything, calling him disrespectful. He's single. He don't understand where the ladies are coming from, because their husbands are in here drinking, sipping, painting, naked women. So John kind of was like, "Oh, so you don't trust your man? You don't trust your husband?" And the husbands are like, "We're not doing anything. We're just painting. We haven't touched anybody. We're not flirting with anybody." Um, and even the other two, 3 dozen women who came through, who were single and they're mingling. All the guys were like on one side of the room before the um wives even showed up. The ladies were kind of seemed like the ladies were kind of mingling more by themselves. So I personally didn't see anything funny acting going on. I don't know if you guys, if you did, let me know. I could have missed something, but because the ladies were nude and they were being painted by the husbands, Tamika and Reagan was upset, and a few of the husbands Um, they seem like they should have known that their wives would have been really upset. So I don't know if do you think if the men when they first came in, when they first realized that they're not painting a bowl of fruit, that they're actually going to paint naked women standing in front of them. I mean, everything just out there, just butt naked. Do you think they should have left? And out of respect to their wives, left, said, John, this isn't cool. This isn't what up. You're single. You wouldn't understand. If our wives found out, we'd be in hot water. Or do you think the wives overreacted? Um, Especially Reagan. I can't believe you put a tracker on your spouse. They don't even know. That was kind of that was kind of crazy, but I guess he knows now, huh? But yeah, so um, tell me what you think about that. If you think the ladies were wrong, if they should have popped up, or if they maybe should have handled it a different way and waited till their husbands got home, you know, spoke to them privately. Um, them popping up like that and going off and flipping out, I don't know. It's kind of it, I don't know. I can't say. I'm not married, so I can't say if they were, wrong for what they did or not. Now, John, I would say that he should have been more considerate and understanding and knowing where these ladies were coming from and knowing why the men were feeling so uncomfortable when they first saw the women painting. Another thing I was kind of like didn't like was when Reagan, uh, she, her husband was trying to defend himself, and her husband Jeff, and he was trying to defend himself, saying, we weren't doing anything, da 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 da, and she was like, "Shut up, shut up." I was like, "What?" Did she just yell at him like he was a 5-year old? He was like, "Don't you tell me to shut up!" And oh, that was crazy. I mean, I don't know what man, no matter what the situation is, no matter what she thought he did or what he really did, I mean, they were in front of, like, let's see, the women, is probably 2 or 3 dozen women there, the single women. So they were in front of at least 35 people, 35, 40 people. And she just shut up. Like, don't you say a word. You shut up. Just sit in the corner. Just, you're grounded. She was talking to him like he was a 5-year old. So I was kind of like, oh, like, okay, all right. That's how, okay, that's how she do. And then it brought me back to the beginning of the last show the other day when she was looking for apartments because I guess she drives quite a ways for school, and she was trying to find an apartment in the French Quarters that's a little closer to save on some travel time and some distance. But she had told her husband Jeff that he wasn't going to be staying with her there. I guess she's going to be there a couple of days a week, and she wants to be there by herself doing her thing, and he stay back home at their house, which is I think she said it was like 30 miles or something. It's kind of lengthy away from where she goes to school. And if you saw the last episode, he was kind of telling her like, this is kind of crazy for me that you don't want me there with you at the house that or the apartment that you're trying to rent because he basically has only her. His family kind of like they're going through a situation right now because I guess he had to do an investigation of his parents. Um, he claimed his mother, the last episode, that his mother had falsified information to get money, um, to get hold to some of his money. And from what Reagan said this last episode, they think she might have pretended to be his wife. His mother had pretended to be his wife. So, and then when he tried to approach his mother about it, approach his dad about it, they basically shut him out. Didn't want to speak to him and shunned him. So he's basically shunned from his family. Can't speak to his mom and dad. And so he almost brought me to tears because he was trying to explain to her, I'm not used to, I don't have anybody right now. You're just going to leave and be gone 3, 4 days a week. And I'm going to be at the house. And um, I kind of like don't know how to feel about that because one of my other favorite shows, um, the show, what's that show? The doctors show. Oh, you guys know what I'm talking about. Hold on, let me look it up real quick. Um, but one of the women in medicine. That's what it is. It's medicine. Sorry, I'm just having a blank right now, and I really want to tell y'all about this. So I have to look this up. Married to Medicine. That's what it was. Okay, one of my favorite shows. How did I forget the name? Don't judge me. Um, but Dr. Simone and Dr. Cecil in Married to Medicine, they had two separate houses because Dr. Simone, she was far from her practice from where she worked. Um, and so they had got a house, two homes, so um, the boys would stay with Cecil so they could be close to their school, and she was, needed to be closer to her work. So they got two separate houses, and Simone would see them, throughout the week, but she wasn't always there. And I don't know if that was one of the biggest parts of them, her and Cecil, basically relationship falling apart after they had been married forever. Um, they had other issues too, but they did, live apart in two separate houses most of the time. So I kind of think that maybe after watching Jeff and on a Southern Charm and seeing how uh, torn he was about finding out that Reagan was getting an apartment and he wasn't going to be there with her, that maybe he's thinking, um, I'm not close to my family anymore. They're not speaking to me. I can't speak to them. Now you're going to be living in a separate house, most of the week. And he feels like maybe it would damage their relationship and pull them apart from each other. Um, you know, I I kind of feel him, but hopefully we'll see throughout the season that this works out for them. Uh, Reagan, Jeff. I like Jeff. He was play football. I'm a big fan of football, so I like Jeff. So far, I like his character. Um, Reagan, I'm kind of iffy about. Tamika, I'm about to iffy about. Like I said, I'm not too sure on this show if it's going to be one of my favorites right now. Um, Tamika, she has stated about her and Barry uh, not having relations right now, or they haven't been in a while. So I do want to keep on this show to find out the reason why they're so distant from each other, with their relationship, what's going on or what happened, because they really haven't got into detail yet. It's still the beginning of this new show. So I'm going to follow along and try to find out what's going on with that. And then as soon as I do, I'm going to give you a review about what I think or how I feel. But, or give you, a little recap of the show. But the show again is called Southern Charm New Orleans. And it's on Bravo, and it comes on Sundays, 9 8 p.m. Central. So check that out. If you guys haven't checked that show out, check that out. Um, Housewives Atlanta is over right now, so again, I'm looking forward to the next season to see if they'll bring back Kim, if they'll bring back Sheree, or what goes on with that. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I tried to go less than an hour. Looks like I'm right at the 50-minute mark right now. So I'll probably be back. Let's see, today is Wednesday. I'll probably be back Saturday. Um, Saturday. Tonight I have to. I recorded Black Ink and Star and uh, uh, why was I about to say Power? Power has a. I'm looking forward to Power. That's one of my favorites too. If you a 50 Cent fan, especially, that's why I first started watching that show because I love 50 Cent. But yeah. So anywho, I'll be back Saturday, and the shows that I'm going to review Saturday is again Star, Black Ink, and also I'll try to throw Empire in there. Um, Hopefully, when I watch the show tonight, I find out if Cookie actually ended up finding her friend's daughter, um, who was in prison with her. Her friend was in prison with her, and her daughter had given birth to a daughter. Had got pregnant by one of the guards in the prison when Cookie was in prison, and she's looking for her friend's daughter, to tell her about her mom. Her mom was dying, and so hopefully, she find her friend's daughter. So I'm gonna let you guys go, and I wish you guys all a good night. And again, I'll probably be back Friday or Saturday night. Um, Give you guys time to catch up on some of these shows. I try not to do reviews right after a show airs, not even a day after. I know a lot of people out here on YouTube or on these blogs, they sometimes give the reviews right away. And I know some people hate that because they're like, I didn't see it yet. Nah, they try to bypass all the reviews on Facebook, YouTube, wherever. So I try to give you guys a few days to catch up because we all have busy lives. Sometimes we can't watch our shows right when they come on. You got to DVR them, watch them a few days later or whatnot. So the shows that came on tonight, I won't review till this weekend. So you guys have a blessed week. And again, if you have anything to say about any of the shows or anything to add, feel free to put them in the comments. Um, and if there's any shows that you recommend that I do a review on, feel free to let me know, of a certain show. Again, my station, my channel is mainly reviewing black TV or shows that are predominantly a black cast. So I'm not going to say that I probably won't ever uh, do a review on a show that isn't mostly a black cast, but most of my shows will be reviewing primetime television, reality shows, social media, that deals with black entertainment. So, again, if you have any comments or anything to add to the shows I reviewed tonight, to Housewives of ATL or Southern Charm New Orleans, just put it in the comments, and I'll hit you back. Um, but good night. Have a blessed week, and I'll talk to you guys soon.